Hello, everyone. We have a special podcast interview today. My name is Vidya. I am a volunteer in TISA. I'm very excited to introduce Mr. Kuldip Bhatt, our guest of today. Uh, to give a brief introduction of Mr. Kuldip, he is the Chief Technology Officer and co-founder of VIKE Technology Solutions. He is originally from Gujarat, currently based in Michigan. He has more than 18 years of technology experience across several global companies. He has also co-founded Kuber 5 Mortgage Solutions, licensed in multiple states in the USA. He is also a passionate musician and the co-founder of Samvaad Musicguru Academy, a premier Indian music school in Michigan, providing services for more than 18 years. He is also a person who stammers, who has successfully navigated the experience of stammering in different challenging environments. Hello, Kuldip. Welcome to this podcast. Hi.
Hello, namaste. And thank you, Vidya, and thank you, Tisa, for um, this. And um, I'm I'm uh, um, I'm very honored. And thank you for this wonderful introduction.
Thank you so much for coming here. We are honored to have you here. So first, I want to ask, how is the weather in Michigan now?
Weather in Michigan is beautiful. Weather here in Michigan is beautiful right now. It's it's summer, and Michigan is known as one of the top tourist place uh, in Michigan here. Sorry, in USA. Um, we are surrounded by lakes, and then there is absolutely beautiful scenic, up north that we call the Upper Peninsula area, which is absolutely awesome and gorgeous. The weather is very nice. I'm wearing half sleeve.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
4 out of 12 months we have this privilege of privilege of wearing half sleeves and shorts and whatnot, but and the rest of the months we are covered with snow. I, there there are people who move out of Michigan saying that it's too cold and all that. I mean, we have been in Michigan since '98. Um, I just look at it as it's it's a mother nature's flavor, and how mother nature is like candid, showing
Yeah,
all her colors to us, so that's but it's beautiful.
wow. Mother Nature's, I think, wildest painting or something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
when like she doesn't hold back
yeah.
when she wants to get, if a, if there's a bad storm, right? It's like Mother Nature like getting angry at her kids, and she's not holding back. She's candid,
Unhinged, unhinged.
she's like showering,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Um, so my the coming to the serious side of it, like, could you
So
talk? Yeah,
I apologize for interrupting one more time. My wife always complains, and I have to make this full disclosure upfront that I am almost never serious. So
okay.
that's 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 uh, that's a defect I have, but
Uh,
it's a good defect to have. So
yeah, it's a very positive defect. So I would say, like, Thank you. So not in not so serious way. I'm just going to, but it's a very serious topic.
Yeah.
To discuss, like, I mean, how your stammer began and when it began. Can you talk about that? Because, yeah.
So I was born and brought up in Surat, Gujarat area, and uh, from what I recall, and actually, honestly, I never paid attention, and I never talked about it with my parents or anybody. I just kept going. So actually, I called my mom yesterday. My mom is in Australia, so I called her yesterday that, hey, I have this interview. Can you help me recall what exactly happened on what day and what time and all that? And that was the first time I talked to them about this. So and from what I also recall, it was I was you know my family put me in nursery, Bal Mandir, and I was not comfortable, and uh, because my parents used to travel a lot because my dad was in sales, so he had travels and all that. So I used to live with my grandma and my aunts, and then my mom and dad used to visit like every weekend, or every other week and whatnot. Yeah, at that time, that was one phase where they had to travel a lot. I was somehow not comfortable leaving my home and going to this new place, uh, as um um and spend hours there. So I was, and then in that process, uh something happened. There was some shock that I went through, or and then um, there were a couple of incidents where I fell down and whatnot. So basically, the shock that I went through, and which I'm assuming uh, some of my system was not able to handle, um, at that point in time. So that's when it happened. Um, yeah.
So, I mean, uh, how your parents handled the situation? Like, were they aware of stammering? I mean, something like that exists. And how was your? I mean, how was your friend? I mean, how were your friends able to? I mean, react to that?
So yeah. So that's a nice question. I used to stu- I used to study in Sir J. Parsi School. Um, and when they found about this, uh, initially they were scared and very protective. Um, and they tried all kinds of treatments and whatnot, therapies and whatnot. Um, I don't think anything worked, and honestly, I was not interested in going to that one class where they would say, hey, here's a book, start reading, and when you read, make sure that your tongue touches here. And I'm like, I'm not being myself here, very
Mm.
clearly. Then there were like eat certain um medicine. There was like Ayurvedic. I and then there was like one doctor who asked me to like use a balloon and fill the balloon. I'm like, stop it. Like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no point in doing all that, because what I mean, like the more I tried to fix it, the more frustration, you know, I was facing, from my own self. I'm like, what am I trying to fix here? And it's just not going anywhere. So, and then uh, uh, other other question about friends. y- Um, yeah, I was the center of attraction for kids who wanted to get a kick out of this and the entertainment, waiting for my turn, to read in class.
Mm.
And yeah, that y- yeah, that was a phase that I very heavy. I had some brutal friends, uh, um, but the good part was that, because they trolled me and all that, I built the immunity.
Mm.
Well, I'm not going to care about it. They can do what it's if they if somebody is having a kick out of somebody else's problem, like in Upanishad or somewhere I was going through that. There is a small anecdote where there is a kid, uh, you know on near a pond, and then there's a frog inside the water, and the kid is throwing stones, pebbles at the frog, and then when frog jumps, kid is getting a kick out of it and is enjoying, like
Mm.
that. So if somebody is having fun out of somebody else's problem, then they need help. I don't need help.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's
So
their
yeah,
problem. Yeah.
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 So yeah, but so that's, I mean, that's a high level.
Yeah. And this also helps us to develop a certain kind of empathy in a very, early stage itself. I feel that this also because we kind of understands that how much it is uh, difficult when we face this kind of uh, bullying from others. So we tend to be very empathetic to others who are having any kind of problem for that matter.
And that's very accurate, Vidya, because uh, the other point, and you remind me of this point also, that I was thinking about talking today. There is this Hindi song, okay, Hindi movie song, and it's called दुनिया में कितना गम है, मेरा गम कितना कम है. I mean, if we look around us, there are bigger problems, right? And eh, when you compare this with those problems, this is nothing.
Yeah.
People are. I uh, when I was going through this frustration, there was another when the incident happened in my family, where my mom, she lost her eye, one eye,
Yeah.
yeah, her right eye. Um, Now
Sorry.
this person, at the age of what, 50 or something, maybe 40, late 40s, I guess, maybe 45 or something. She has lived all her life with two, like seeing the world with two eyes. Now she doesn't have this one eye, right? So now in front of that, like, and then so yeah, empathy is the word, and it just like on a daily basis. I think it kept making me like a better version of me. Every day was a better version of me. Like today, like it put me in the mindset that, hey, I'm waking up today. Today is going to be the last day of the worst version of Kuldip. Tomorrow is going to be a better version. So
Wow.
that that that's the mindset that I think, because we have one shot at this life, one shot, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Like one shot at this life, right? So every day, like a little better version, whatever the shortcomings are, whatever I messed up today, goofed about it, tomorrow I'm going to be better. So that mindset also started developing, subconsciously, and yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. Like if you have that kind of, it gives that extra motivation to come out of the comfort zone constantly and try new things. I think, yeah, I can understand like how it
and
can
and then
help.
and then the more I mean, I then it became the opposite, that I was actually waiting for my turn to read. Hey, come on, bring it on. Let's face. I mean, you know, let's face it. Like, I mean, like fear. You know, I don't know how to put it, but the minute or the second that you spend on the fear of not being successful is the moment that you are actually spending on not being successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one trait that I built, and which I think was very helpful, to me. Is still helping me. So and helping people around me, I think.
Yeah, I can, I can get you like how it would be. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this. Uh, so in in the, article that you wrote for our uh, TISA blog, you
Yeah.
had mentioned a life-changing event of watching Satte Pe Satta. Can you dive deeper into what that specific moment that reshaped your perception towards sound and rhythm, and how it had helped you with your stammer? Like, if you can explain it as much as possible.
No, no, absolutely. So here's the part, right? I'm people of my age, and even today's. Uh, there is I was, just like many others, I'm a Amitabh Bachchan fan, Amitabh Bachchan fan. Um, and I think that everybody wants to be Amitabh Bachchan in certain way. Like there is Amitabh Bachchan in all of us. Like there is an Amitabh Bachchan in all of us. Even
Uh,
even if you don't talk like, hey, agar kaise lage? Still we have the Amitabh Bachchan. So I was Amitabh Bachchan fan. So like you're a diehard fan. So I wanted to watch them. This all just came together at that time where I was in this state of confusion. There is something I know I'm positive about it. I just don't know how to crack it. I was I, I knew I'll crack it, but I just didn't know how. Um, and then and then I watched this like Satya Pe Satta. So a couple of things. I mean, I discovered that it's not about talking. It's not about the speech. It is not about, like, I'm talking, like I have been talking to you in this frequency here, right? This is called Madhya Saptak. This is like the mid frequency, the mid octave, the mid range, right? I'm not talking to you like I wake up in the morning. I'm not talking to you like in my high frequency. I'm talking to you in mid frequency. It's not just about communicating in this frequency, or this talking. I mean, yeah, I know there are, if you look at like some of the science books on this, and they say that there is one part of brain that functions when we talk, and the other part when we sing. Those things are there, but it's still the same system. It's inside us, and it's right here. So uh and then they are communicating. There is this like sequence where boys are like sad and whatnot, and then they're communicating, having a conversation uh, in the bass octave, in the lower octave. Pyar hame kis mode pe le aaya. Lower. They are all talking, and then and something happens, and then the rhythm stays. But it just like doubles. It just प्यार प्यार तुम्हें किस मोड़ पे ले आया, ये दिल करे हाय, कोई ये बताए क्या होगा. This is bass, and then they go into the high octave. that, that goes very high. So like there is more to this speech and sound and speech than just talking, right? So I have to have a 360-degree view of what's going on here. Like we are born as human being. There is this method of talking, and I'm getting frustrated about this little thing. In that movie, there was this there's a character who actually stutters, stammers. Um, uh, um, Shakti Kapoor. And in that song, there is he actually stammers in the song. So that sounds like a DJ. It was so rhythmic, right? I mean, so the dimension that I started looking at this, like, okay, well, I want to learn, like, I want to get better now. And I know how I'm going to, I'm not going to keep on focusing on fixing this little thing on the side. I'm going to try to improve rather than fixing one little thing. I'm going to, like, make my journey better, right? Like how you work out every day, right? You are not what you want. Let's say when I came to USA, I was 189 pounds. Then I went up. Now I want to go back to 189. Now it's not going to happen overnight. Maybe I'll reach there. Maybe I will not. Maybe I'll be at like 191. Maybe, but the journey. It's a journey that, like, on daily basis, like, I am living. My life is this journey, right? So I want to improve the quality of my journey. So in that process, I was blessed with a lot of good things. I went to Shri Aurobindo Ashram school in Gujarat. There's a place called Nargol, and I studied. I did my 8, 9, and 10 there, and where my Guruji J.C. Dubal sir gave me a lot of light. um, my music, and I guess the level of confidence I kept getting, that um, I have so many, like, I have so many stories to share here. I just
Oh,
keep on.
please continue. We are all ears now. Yeah, seriously, it's really
No, so
motivating.
I mean, yeah, so I guess that's I yeah, I found my light there, in that movie, that there was something, because the whole but and at that time, um we used to take audio cassettes. So audio cassettes, like, I had the audio cassette way before I watched the movie. So I had heard the soundtrack like 150 times, in and out. So even today, I can score that music. Like, I know which note is where, including the interlude, or including the arrangements and whatnot. Like, it's all inside. That the soundtrack really made a lot of sense to me. I was like, okay, well, it's about communication, right? It's about communicating. It's about the journey, and that's what I want to, like, get better at. And that kind of showed me the light, and it kind of, like, set a roadmap for me, that, okay, well, I at least know how I'm going to approach my next step. And then
Mm. Actually, language as intonations, tempo, whatnot, like all the aspects of what is there in music is also there in mere sounds that we do in our spoken language. So I think the parallels are very incredible when we see that.
no, and the tal or the lay. I belong to Mahar Gharana now. Now, I'm like, well, officially inducted into Mahar Gharana by my Guruji Pandit Ronu Majumdar. Um, um, he's he's a flute maestro. Um, he doesn't have many students that learn vocal from him. I'm one of those rare students.
Wow.
Yeah. I also learned flute, but my main yeah. So Meher Gharana is it's all about the nad and sound production. Uh, Sound production in the melody and rhythm. Sorry, so now I'm going into some other. The reason why um Indian music system is so unique. All music styles are great. All music, all. But the reason why Indian music is so exclusive, because they're building like foundation, right? There is melody or sur, then there is rhythm or tal, then then there is poetry or there is lyrics. Then we have, as part of our Shastriya Sangeet, right? We have this bhav or the ras or the feeling. It it is it is documented that, well, this raga, if you sing it right or if you play it right, it is supposed to generate the feeling of, let's say, it's a season or time or mood, right? Even with the same notes, if you sing the same notes differently, uh Rag Bhairav and Kalingada might have the same notes, but the Bhairav is like early morning raga, and Kalingada is more for like detachment, Virakti. So all this, I mean, there is just so much to it than just feeling bad or like caring about who makes fun of this little thing, because you just don't worry about those things, or don't try to fix this. This is not something you want to fix. You want to have a journey that is really loaded and enriching. So yeah, we are all blessed to be humans.
Yeah.
We are all blessed to be humans. So
Yeah. Yeah. Journey counts a lot.
yeah.
Yeah. It will help. I mean, living not to be so fixated on the result and thinking about the present is as very, very helpful in not only in I mean, like as you said, it helps in all facets of life. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so how so the relationship that you have with your stammer now is it's in a very positive light. So or I mean, like, is it still? I mean, are you still in the acceptance stage? Like now, how is your relationship with your stammer? Like that's the question that I want to ask.
I want to make sure that I answer it. How is my relationship with my stammer? I mean, uh, first of all, I don't think that it's a defect. Okay, I never found, even when I was at a peak of frustration, I never found thought that this is a defect. There are people who say that इसकी बीमारी है. I mean, I never I never felt that it's a defect. It's very much part of me. It's like there are people who are certain color or like certain height, or have like certain like long hair or short hair or no hair or whatever, right? it, it's just part of it, right? it's not defect, it's like just it's part of it. So I never um I see it improving, I see that it has improved a lot. And I was talking to my wife last week that what do you, because I, and w- one of the other, one of the main things that, that has worked in my advantage, as I said, I'm blessed. I have a wonderful and very supportive family.
Wow.
50% of the credit, maybe more, 80% of credit, or maybe just all the credit goes to my family for supporting mm, me in throughout. And family is something that we all, I mean, family is, I'm blessed, I think family has made a like big difference in how I'm going about with this stammer. um the other part which I did not share in the article was I have also done a lot of theater,
Mm.
because my dad used to also write uh, plays and all that. And sometimes I had to travel with them and whatnot. So he used to write that one character, like a child character, which used to be like important character in the play. So I always had, even if it was a short role, either it was like very naughty or like very emotional, or so I had that heat that I constantly enjoyed going through, where this thing would get put to test.
Mm.
Um, in my first job that I started in Ahmedabad, I started as a uh, um, as a coach,
Okay.
as a teacher,
Okay.
um, uh, in labs, like computer labs, right? I used to go and help students remove the errors and fix the code and improve, understand the coding skills or understand the bigger picture or whatever. In that process, so that heat, constant heat, it helped me. So um I, it's the only thing I would recommend is to all is that there is no reason to hold back.
Mm.
Face the heat, and it'll sona, you know ag, when you put the sona through ag, right, it becomes, yeah. So that's how my relation is. um I am doing my podcasts.
Wow.
I Yes, I'm a podcast on finances and whatnot. I'm also a finance consultant. I have my podcast on what the market is, and how the interest rate and whatnot. um I do all that, and I just keep going, and uh I mean, sometimes I even feel that I don't have, like, I don't feel that I have it. And even when I was when this stammering was really heavy, I had already built that immunity where um there is there's this movie called Lawrence, uh, I think Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm.
And this allied forces are placed uh, somewhere, somewhere in Gulf, to fight the battle, but they are all on hold, and they're waiting for the war to begin, or whatever, the next command. And there are two soldiers, they are just like sitting outside, and then one guy is like, he has a matchbox, and he's letting the match, and then he's putting it off again. But he's not, the other guy asks him that, hey, you're not getting a burn. He's like, nope. He's let me try. Then he tries and he's like, oh my God. So he asks him, so what's the trick? And he answers that the trick is to not let me find the words that he said. Yeah. He said the trick is to not mind the deterrence. Don't don't get deterred. So that, with God's grace, that was the approach that has helped me come out of water. And other life is beautiful. And we our forefathers, and they all have done some really good deeds, because of which we have this, our souls have this human avatar. So we have to, yeah. So
Wow. Nicely said. Okay, we can talk about this so much, I guess. Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, please, you
No,
continue.
it's not like that I never faced any biases or any misunderstandings or anything like that. Yeah, I did face that. In our school, we used to have this plays like dance dramas, and uh, they were all recorded, like pre-recorded by our teachers and whatnot. And this is when I was in Arvind Ashram. And those plays were recorded. And because of my skills, whatever, they felt that I'll be able to do good. I always used to be the lead character in that play, whereas where like you Krishna, or even bad guy, Ravana, or I always used to play lead role in those plays. And then there was one play where the plan was not to record. And uh, my director removed me from that play.
Yeah.
So like I went there, for rehearsals and whatnot, to learn, what's the plan for this time, what am I playing and whatnot. And they read the names of the characters, and I was nowhere. So I'm like, so it's like, yeah, you can participate in the group dance. So um I did not feel bad. I did not. I Maybe because I had built that immunity, or that that approach of like not minding the deterrence. Like whatever. I felt that they need help and not me. So this happened, and you know, and it would happen to even people who don't stutter or don't stammer, right? So these type of biases, and this happens to everybody. We are not just to us, but it's part of our life. We have to deal with these struggles. So we have to go through, and everybody has their unique struggle. Everybody has their unique struggle. People who don't stammer, they have their struggle.
Yeah.
Some people, I know my boss in my last job, he had a morning anxiety. He would get super anxious and angry and whatnot, at his team members in the morning. I'm like, sir, just don't talk to me, until lunch hour, please.
Yeah.
So everybody has their own, and he knew about it. Like, listen, take, he's like, I'm sorry. So again, he would come in the afternoon, and then he would apologize to the team that, hey, listen, I'm so sorry. I apologize that I got I got mad at you guys in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I said, okay, well, listen, is it impacting you? Do you want to improve? Only then it matters, right? If you want to say, yeah, you help me. So uh he said, can you teach me music? Like,
Wow.
so that was another thing. I think music has helped me, and I think people around me a lot.
Mm.
So he used to, he used to attend my classes, and uh, the naad, or the sound, right? The
Mm.
sound helps in calibrating your system.
Mm, mm, mm.
Uh, I'm sorry, I did not realize that you're not listening. You're not able to hear because of the audio issue.
Mhm.
And then I went into my uh, this music that I'm learning or I'm teaching. The Drupad Sangeet is a Adi Sangeet from the ancient. It's ancient music. Before the invasions happened. Um, uh, Adi Sangeet. Before the Akranta uh, came in, because before the Akraman Kal. So that sound therapy helps in general. It has helped people who don't stammer. I can definitely help people who stammer. It has helped me.
Wow.
Uh, Morning, like, it literally changed him. I saw that change happen. I literally saw that change happen in front of me. So I have live examples of people who have, and then the sound can bring them out of water. So we all have so much potential that we all have so much potential that we can bring out, using this sound as a method, looking at our talking as sound rather than speech. Sorry, I
Yes.
just went in my um dhyan samadhi moksha. Sorry.
No, it was very interesting that
I have, encourage people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It
that's
has,
nice.
for for those who are not able to hear my sounds here, please go to my channel, Kuldip Bhatt, and please subscribe to my channel. Also, yeah, uh, basically, sound has helped me, and sound is helping people who I know. I'm blessed with like so many good students. As part of our startup called Samvaad Musicguru Academy. I teach music in the evening for like 2.5 hours every day. It doesn't impact anything, any of my regular day-to-day job or whatever. I just keep music for 2.5 hours in the evening, and it's insurance in a way that, like, all day I'm part of this crazy conference calls with like angry people on the calls and like shouting and whatnot. I'm the calmest person in the call, and people say, "What? Why?" I'm like, listen. I only have 4 more hours to go. After that, I'm going to be back to my music class, and I'm going to, get, like, it's going to remove the daily dust, like the 2 hours of my music class that I'm going to spend with my students. And that, yes, I'm blessed there. So yeah, but so, and yeah, I don't know where we are talking, and I think I went all over. So I'm sorry if I got sidetracked in my discussion.
No, it was very interesting to know your
So
journey.
I think COVID also, COVID, I think all of us, I think, learned a lot in COVID. We went through something, including like your kids and everybody. We went through something that we never imagined that we would go through, right? So one good thing I started, uh, was like a power hour in the morning. Okay, so I do my riyas, fine. Then I, s- I call it power hour, but power hour is more like, it can be half an hour. Like on a busy day, you don't have an hour to spend. It can be half an hour, it can be 20 minutes. I still call it a power hour. So I do three things. Three things. Let's say I know I have 20 minutes today. I split the 20 minutes into three. for for 1/3 of the time, I look outside of the window. I just like look at things. Just don't do anything. Just don't try. I don't try to like push my thoughts back or whatever. Thoughts are coming. Okay, I'll let those thoughts also come and whatever. But I look at the objects. Let's say there's a sparrow or there is a car with certain color, whatever. I'm just observing these objects, right? Then for this for the sec for the next part, I take a book that is not related to my IT or music, like novel from Gujarat. And like Gujarati or Hindi novel, or um I have this book called Samved Sanhita, like simplifying the Samveda, like something that is not related to my IT job or music. So I read like 1 or 2 pages, and then spend that time. And then I make a checklist of what I'm not going to do.
Good.
It helps me. All screen time, make sure, don't open Insta, don't go to Reels during these hours, whatever. So those things, and that power hour is helping me a lot. Like it has become a routine for me now. And yeah, so
That's wonderful. Um,
yeah.
so my next question is, like, you have co-founded several companies, and I believe it could not have been an easy way to success. So what challenges you faced building those startup companies, and how you are able to sustain their growth successfully? Because that is something which is very crucial while making it run for years and years. So uh,
No, so not for years and years. Let me trying to clarify.
yeah.
So yeah, I I used to okay. So I used to work as a full-time IT a consultant for companies like we are in Michigan, so we are in Detroit metro area, which is auto capital of the world. It's known as auto capital. So there's like General Motors, Ford, all of these companies have their headquarters here. So I have worked for Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. I have worked for Chrysler. um, I have worked for GM. All the auto companies I have worked for with companies. I started as a system administrator when I came here. DBA and whatnot. Um, system analyst. Um, um, uh, then went into like technical project manager, solutions delivery architect, um, manager of service delivery for the global teams. I had teams in USA, in Philippines, and in India. I'm blessed to have like a team of like 150 people across the globe. Uh, then I worked as a CIO and a CTO for a financial company and a manufacturing company together, like as a consultant. Um, I was still feeling that I can do more. I have more potential than what I'm doing. I can help more. So and the other part is my wife is also IT, and she's phenomenal.
Mm.
She's an amazing architect. Uh, if I start talking about her, I'll need another hour. Yeah. Uh, she's she's really she's she has been an amazing partner. Okay. Um, we know each other like from my early days. When I used to work at Aptech and in India and whatnot. we've known each other since then, and she's my best friend, uh, and vice versa. Um, and so we we co-founded. Like, she's my co-founder. She's one of the two. So um, I'm like I'm like I'm ha- so uh, we started out the IT consulting. We started out as IT service providers, um, basically modernizing the environment, modernizing the IT environment, or digitizing whatnot. So we are in Michigan, so we have like manufacturing companies here. So we help them, automate processes. Automation is one of my strengths. Mm, even when automation and AI were not the buzzwords. So that that so like I help businesses um maximize on their IT investment. What they're already spending, they are not using what they're paying for. So I help them use what they're paying for, and um, eliminate redundancies, and uh, you know so that. And then we are also working on launching our products, a couple of products that we're working on. One is a document processing, um, using AI.
Wow.
um, yeah, that's one area where we are working on product, and we are hopefully going to launch it soon. Uh,
All the
um,
best.
thank you. Yeah. um, and then since I was part of this mortgage, or the finance company, I also got the certification in providing the solutions for like home mortgages, home financing, and whatnot. So I got that certification because while doing IT, I learned all that. Like, I didn't have to like read and study for the exam. I just went in the exam and I cleared it because I knew everything in and out. So I'm like more like, it's one more startup. I have a few um I have few agents associated with me. That's another thing, right? For the startups, like the whole mindset
Mm.
of owning a startup, right? Versus the mindset of helping my own team, right? Let's say okay, I had a team of, as I said, I had a team of like 150, 160 across. uh, I like 20 members here in USA. Okay? I used to go to work every morning. I had the ability to say that, hey, listen, I'm assigning you this task, I'm assigning you this task, I'm assigning you this task. At the end of the day, show me your report. What did you do? That's one approach. The other approach is I go to work every morning. Uh, I work for my team. Like, I go to work for them. Like, somebody's my employee. I, I I report to them. Like, I work for them. They don't work for me. Like, I had them succeed. Like, I had them succeed so that they can help my organization succeed
Mm.
in their daily, you know, that we like, um, as a manager, I have seen, I have seen managers who that, and that's one reason why, I love saying this phrase. I was not going to say it, but I'll say it. Um, that's one reason why I fired my employer. I had to say, listen, I mean, the sense of entitlement
Mm.
is a disease. Cater to me. There are people, why you did not do this? Why you missed it? There are managers who ask their employees or team members, why you missed it? That's a bad question. If they missed it, there is no answer. If they missed on sending an email, and if I'm going to pressurize my team member saying, why did you miss it? I mean, you are actually making it horrible for them, and even worse for your organization or for your delivery. Like, I have a deliverable to my client or my manager or whoever is above me, or I'm making that worse by putting, just because I'm above them, I feel that I have this entitlement of asking. I want them to be. There is another school of thought. The managers that feel that if I make my team member, like, if they have some fear, then they will do good. I've seen those managers. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
The worst you can do is, the impact is, you can make them feel bad. You
Yeah.
cannot. If somebody is underperforming, right? We like, as a manager or as a startup, like our team, let's say, and let's say I have somebody who is underperforming, right? Who I'm paying because, like, I don't have enough budget, right? Startups have a less budget to work with, right? And if they're underperforming, the whole mindset that I think can help in today's world for the for people who are hoping to have startup is to become a thumb pointer and not a finger pointer. Make sense?
Nice way of saying. Yeah.
Makes Somebody made a mistake. Okay, I have a band here. Okay,
Ownership,
yeah, ownership, the sense
accountability.
of
Yeah.
ownership, the
Yeah.
sense of ownership with you. If you go to Google and you and look for Kuldip Bhatt Garba, you see what I'm like. Um, I think I'm overhyped here, but uh, I have, like, every year, we do our Garba and Dandiya and whatnot here every year, and I'm blessed with a wonderful team. We are completing like 18 years this year. We've been doing this for 18 years in a lot of charity work and a lot of. Now, my team member, if if they messed up on a piece that they were supposed to play, why did you miss it? It's not going.
That will not.
It's not going to fix it.
Yeah.
Not gonna-
Negative
It's
reinforcement.
not
Yeah.
going to fix. Maybe that person missed it because it was my fault. There is. I find it so satisfying when I start with, maybe it is my fault. That allows me, an opportunity to make things better, right? And maybe that, let's say, if there was a guitarist, let's say if he played it wrong or whatever, right? He played the wrong chords and he, like, messed up the song or whatever happened. Maybe he was not getting the audio output from the monitor correctly, or he was not comfortable. Maybe I did not arrange for, like, enough food or like water or whatever it was, right? Start pointing thumb. What can I do better to help him fix it next time?
Yeah.
That is a magical way of thinking. I'm telling you, the people who are going to be kind are going to be winners in next 20 years.
Wow. Nicely said. Yeah. Yeah.
Option ही नहीं है कोई
Kindness has. Yeah. Sorry.
sorry
Please.
no, sorry, go ahead.
No.
No, go ahead.
Kindness has become very rare that we have to. That has become a treasure these days to have it. Yeah. An asset to possess. But it should not be like that. Like, everybody should be kind and must be kind with each other. Yeah.
So, and I was having the discussion with a friend of mine who is also an entrepreneur, and he owns a medical business, and they have grown also quite a lot. So I was talking to him about this this whole topic of kindness, and he said, I respectfully disagree. And I kind of see what you're trying to say. He didn't disagree with the whole idea of kindness, but he's like, kindness, yeah, I know, but it doesn't work, Kuldip. I'm like, people take you for granted, and then people, don't do their job, and then you are kind. You have to have some scare on people, otherwise they won't do the job. I'm like, listen, so like, I agree that um, not everything is golden. Not everything is positive. There are people who will do a bad job, or who will underperform or not perform or are not fit. If I am putting somebody for a task where they are not a good fit, whose fault it is?
Mm.
So that's one, right? Now the other thing is and I have seen that a lot of people like disagree with me on this, and the more they disagree, the more I feel that no, I'm on the right track. I think that everybody, let's say you take somebody who is a bad worker. First of all, I don't think he's a bad worker, because when people work so that they can earn money, and they can lead a good life. Everybody wants to live a good life, right? Even somebody who's not fit for job, whatever, right? Like, it's a worse example. They also want to live a good life? I think that everybody wants to wake up and go to work and do a good job. Everyone wants to do a good job, right? Even somebody at work who you hate, who you think is very cunning, or who you think is, you know manipulative, right? Those thoughts go around that, oh, that guy or that person is whatever. Even when they come to work, they want to have a good day. They want to do a good job, right? I guess, we can filter out. You don't have to be like nasty or scary. Like, I am blessed to have worked under, some amazing leaders, from whom I've learned. I had a leader, in HP. His name is Bob. Super calm guy. Um, if if he finds out that somebody's like absolutely not a good fit and is causing a lot of trouble, he would walk up to his desk or her desk and say, "Good morning. How are you today?" Like, wonderful. Um I was wondering, if you had some time today, maybe we can talk for a few minutes. And then they would say, "Yeah, I can talk now." Uh, okay, then let's grab coffee and let's meet in that room. Then he would take the person to the room and say, um, "Yeah, I just want to thank you for everything that you have done for me and my team so far. And going forward, I'll no longer need your services. I really appreciate it." That's how. You don't have to get mad or scare people. If you really have to fire somebody, if they did something really bad, if they caused trouble, you don't have to be nasty.
Yeah.
So that there are a lot of things that we can learn from people around us. And yeah, I'm a strong believer that you don't have to be like, especially a startup, because I think your question was about startup. I think this, like, mindset, it's about mindset. Yeah, you are going to enjoy, like, let's say you have a startup idea, right? You know what you're doing, so otherwise you won't take that risk, right? So as a startup, I think my my 2 cents to the people who um, are interested in, having startup, or you already have startup going, one is that we have to understand that we are not just taking on something that we like. Let's say we have an idea of some AI product or whatever, and we know that this is how I'm going to do it. That's not the only thing you are taking on. You are also taking on the administrative part or the clerical part, which you might not really know or be fond of doing, but you own it.
Mm.
Then there's this whole area about compliance related, and legal and compliance responsibilities, right? We have to be fully aware of where the line is, you know what standards and what compliance we have to conform to, understanding the legalities. Those things are also very important, not just because I know that, oh, I'm a super uh, cool AI guy, and I can develop this product. I know it's going to change the world, but I guess I I have to know all this. Like, I have to be ready to uh, focus on these things also, and learn more about the compliance and the administrative part, accounting, books, bookkeeping, whatever. Even if you outsource whatever, you still want to have the control over it and whatnot. So yeah, I think that has been a great learning process. Um, Almost almost 2 years, since I have co-founded these two companies, and then Samvaad Musicguru Academy just completing 18 years. We have done a lot and lot of good projects here, nice projects. Uh, but yeah, it's amazing. Every day I feel that, well, yeah, I need to do more. I need to do more, and I guess that's always keeping the student in your life is a good idea.
Yes. And I also, you told like you, and I mean, coming to Samvad, because you finished with that, like you can encourage the students to uh, present their work in their native language. I think, why do you think that practice is very important?
Oh, so okay, so we have been talking for what, like more than an hour now?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I turned my phone into airplane mode, and I told my team that, I won't be available for an hour. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
It's fine. It's not. I have things in place, so we are
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Thank you.
But so I'm trying to get a question. You asked me about.
I mean, encourage your students to present the work in
Oh
native
yes, yes.
language. Yeah. And why do you think that is important?
The authentic. I mean, authenticity, right? Like, we like authenticity of like what we originally are. Like I'm a Gujarati, um, and especially here in USA. But I'm telling you, here I'm blessed to be part of a really dynamic community, wonderful community. So many temples, like so many organizations, like so many. Yeah, it's amazing. My kids, I have two girls, and they both learn music. They both can speak Hindi, Gujarati. They love movies. They can't spend a day without Indian food. um, we are we are we are vegetarian, and we don't eat onion garlic. uh, I I mean, it's just, um, I have students that are Kannada speaking, Telugu, Tamil, um, all from all areas here. And it's amazing to see, because if we because I don't want, like, I just don't want to teach them music. I want them to appreciate the culture, and tighten the like the roots that we all have. uh I want them to learn songs in their own language also, that in that way I also learn. I enjoy learning. I can I can say certain phrases in Tamil, mixed with
Uh,
Telugu,
no,
mixed with Telugu. uh,
yeah, I was actually wondering what that Mikku coffee
milk coffee kavala. So that was
kavala.
Telugu, and I'm like, yeah. So yeah, so that way that way I also get to learn. And that way it's amazing to hear them talk in their own language, and they appreciate, and their parents appreciate. And yeah, we it's India. It's like a rainbow. Like we are like a rainbow, all the different colors, without which the rainbow is not complete. So
Yeah.
that's why I think that my student, when presenting, they can present in their own language. They can introduce themselves in their own language. Others also have opportunity to you know go to the enrichment of this diversity,
Yeah,
and so yeah, it's
yeah.
amazing.
That's
So
wonderful to appreciate our own culture, especially
yes,
when we are in a midst of a uh, dynamic and where we are exposed to different culture. That should be a strong identity towards one. So I think in that way it is really helpful. What you're doing is so great. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
My
no,
last question. I mean, you
please.
were saying something, please.
No, 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 that I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's a um and that's looking at the big everything again boils down to looking at everything at the 360 degree. um साधन साधन गौण है, साध्य अनिवार्य है. uh, this is a phrase from Upanishad. The sadhan, or the medium, sadhya, what we want to do, what we want to achieve, right? So we use everything that we have available, not just focus on one little what people think is like shortcoming or whatever. Don't it's it's gone. It's not that important. Sadhan is gone. The sadhya is anivarya. So that's uh, that's what I think.
Mm. Wow. Actually, my last question was to, you have any final thoughts or reflection? But I guess the last one that you said was really
No,
good.
I'm very thankful. At that time, as I said, at that time we did not have have any exposure to organizations and groups like TISA. And I have I've been following TISA and your team. I actually feel that I'm part of a family now. This whole this TISA family. Amazing work, amazing work. I did come across some people who stammer. And actually yesterday I went to, as I said, yesterday I attended this uh, NSA is like National Stuttering Association. Like they're like 30th anniversary. So I attended that, and there are people who really can use some help. There are people who are like that are like depressed. There's a kid who he just graduated from university, and uh, he has mastered in English. He has written 3 novels. And I was talking to him. I was like, "That's phenomenal." And he was like, Yeah, but I'm lost. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what my life is going to be about." Because he's not able to complete one sentence. He's not able to he's not able to complete a sentence or freeze, and he is so frustrated. He's so depressed. Um, and there are some other. So I'm thinking there is just, I mean, one thing that, and I sat with him for half an hour. Like, listen, man, you are going to rock. I'm telling you. One thing that is needed in general, not just limited to like stammering, like people with stammer, but in general, I think encouragement.
Yeah.
People around us, right? There are people who are like, we have to encourage wherever we go. Like, we have to. My final thought is to build that habit, or nurture that habit, to encourage everybody. John, wherever we go, encourage people. Encourage people. There is
Yeah.
zero cost. There is no cost, and there is no harm. It's not going to impact you in bad way, and it's only going to, if at all, it's only going to encourage people, and only going to bring something good out of them. So where you see some just encourage people. I think that's
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, that's a really good way because the whatever hesitation that they have with our few words, if they are able to get that nudge and do something, it's I mean, wonderful thing actually. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uh, I'll just pass the, I mean, like, I would like to know whether audience want to ask any questions, want to share anything, please, if you could. Uh, yeah, I think currently they don't have any questions. Uh, and first of all, thanks to you for agreeing to do this podcast. It was wonderful to know that person who stammers. I mean, like, to have people who are an eye authority and stammers and face challenges and still able to achieve a lot of things, which is that very aspect of it is quite motivating and inspiring for every PWS. I have to say that, so encouraging. And thanks for coming here and sharing your thoughts. There are so many topics that we can talk about further. I think so we can always have another podcast if you find time. Uh, Thank you again, Mr. Kuldip.
Thank you again. No, no, I appreciate the opportunity to, you know, allowing me to have this conversation with you, and connect with my extended the other family. And I look forward to being part of it, and helping where needed. Already, people like you and Satyendra ji, and Harish ji, and um, everybody. I have seen you guys, talk to you guys, and it's just amazing, to know you, come in touch with you, and hopefully uh, I'm looking forward to helping more, wherever needed. Thank
Thank
you
you.
again. Thank you again for the invitation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will stop the recording now.
Namaste.